Playing the whole time.
Live on Facebook.
What's up, What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? What's going on, all my crew out there? Y'all know who it is. It's your girl, your big sis, L Vintage. And you know what we here to do. We here to handle that business. Shut it down. Because tonight, you getting more than just a treat. You getting all this goodness and all this grace. Because guess what? My big sis is in the studio with us right now. So check me out. I need you to go to your app store on your phone, your Android, iOS, go to Spotify, go to Google. I want you to download Top Class Radio. Top Class Radio. You heard me? Download Top Class Radio. Get it, get it, get it. That's the radio station. I'm going to give you the number too. 609-418-9816. Call in if you're feeling froggy and you're feeling like you want to get into this conversation because it's going to be something for your heart. It's going to be meat for your soul. And we want you to be able to get in. Go on over to the IG at 609 Stage Left and friend us. Follow us because some important things are going to be going down. And listen, I want you to beware, right? Anything might go across this here mic tonight. But what it will be is some love for your soul. It's gonna be all of that. My lying sis?
You ain't lying.
Listen. I'm in the studio right now with my sis, my big sis. I love her. I love her to all life. Miss Tashira D'Amour, Sacred Butterflies.
Yes.
We up in the building. Building.
Yes.
And I want y'all to stay tuned. I want you to tune in. Call a friend, phone your family. Let them know we're live. Live. Again, go download Top Class Radio. Any of your app store, social media devices, you can download it. Android, iOS, Google, Spotify, get it. Go to the IG 609 Stage Left and come on over and check us out, okay? Because we got some big things going down over here. Listen, we going to get into it. We ain't going to prolong it, right? Because there's some special stuff getting ready to pop off. I want you to know that I've been afforded the right to be a part of a montage of women, sisters, brothers, and the like that are advocates for sexual assault. Right? We're advocates for sexual assault. Families, young ladies, young men. We go out into the universe and we spread that love and we spread our conversation and we get people out and open and we by listening to our testimonies, people have come back and said, listen, I never felt so free in my life, or, I'm so grateful that we have an opportunity to sit and talk and listen to what you guys have gone through. I never would have known. And many people don't know what sexual assault looks like.
No.
They don't know what addiction looks like if they've never experienced it. They can say what they assume it looks like, but they don't know. And one of the things that we are privy to be a part of is a sisterhood that is unapologetically unafraid to talk about our testimonies. So let me introduce you to my distinguished guest, the queen herself, Miss Tashira D'Amour. Tell them about yourself.
Hey world. I'm Tashira D'Amour. El Vintage is my sister. She my sister in every aspect of sisterhood because me and Elle known each other. I mean, like her little sister played basketball with my children in the Woodlands.
Yeah.
So I've met Elle
Take it
20
back.
years ago.
Yeah.
20 years ago, never knowing that we would sit at the same table.
What now?
Like we sitting at the same table, but not knowing that the son that played basketball with your sister
Yeah.
was the son from the event.
Wow.
So,
Talk about
I'm
it.
humbled. I'm humbled that the table is now open.
Yeah.
That we
Absolutely.
have our voice, we have our power, we have our strength. We I keep using the word basking.
Yeah.
Like we basking into something that no one's talking about.
Right. Right.
And I commend us that we put ourselves out there. Like we put ourselves all the way out there 18 months ago, 17 months ago.
Wow.
Like we became the face that people would see us in our travels and be like, it happened to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how dope is that? Like, who would have thought that that door would have opened and it would have been me, you, and our sister that can't be here tonight?
Right.
But who would have thought it would have been that circle of three women that was
going through.
unafraid?
Right. Because the crazy part about it is we always knew each other via the bus, like you said, and my sister,
Right.
you know, and just being out in the community. But we never, it's amazing how you can sit across the table from someone and never know that that person has gone through what you've gone through
Absolutely.
and have been involved in some of the things that you've been involved in, have suffered some of the pains that you've suffered. And most of the time when we get to this point and some of that yoke is breaking off, right?
Right.
Some of that mask is starting to fall and crumble. How it's not easy to actually speak about it and open ourselves up.
Absolutely not.
And yet God got to bring you to a place where you're not just tired, you're exhausted.
Yes.
It's a weight,
yeah.
and it bears down on you, and it gives you that extra burden that like you feel like you just can't get free from. And I was grateful for the opportunity. Shout out to Mr. Robert Laws.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Robert Laws
Yeah.
and shout out to Nanelle Langford.
Yes.
Yes, Nanelle
on.
Langford. Yes, let me tell you, Nanelle Langford is my godmother. And she knows my life. She
Wow.
knows my story. And she just happened to be sitting on this team
Yes.
of people. And she explained to me that it needed to be real.
Okay.
And when they asked her, did she know something? You know, shout out to Avanzar.
Yes.
When they asked her, did she know somebody?
Mm-hmm.
She knew somebody, but she said, wait a minute, this is personal.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
it was that kind of personal
Right.
because she was a part of that whole process and being there for my mother. You know what I mean? You know, from the first event to the second event. She's just seen me grow up. Actually, it's so crazy though because she gave me the name Miss T when I was a little girl, and I literally used that for that's my email, like
Yeah.
Miss T. You know what I mean? It's always Miss T, so I walk into being Miss T or more. You know what I mean? I'm walking into a different purpose and a different light.
Absolutely.
But shout out to the people that knew that we had a story to tell. And we were unapologetic about this story. It's the not apologizing for it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And both of our stories, like I tell everybody, that's a sexual assault survivor and a thriver.
Right.
Because you got people that's surviving, they're in survival mode right now. Where I consider you, me, and Ascilla thrivers.
Yes.
Because we survived it, but now we're taking it to a whole nother level. And now we have to help other people to get to this level because it's silent. It's silent and it's happening everywhere. When I was on the boardwalk and I did that the march, the empowerment march, I gave straight facts.
Yeah.
Every 9 minutes
have
a
to.
child is being molested or is something is happening with a child every 9 minutes. And every 68 seconds a woman is being assaulted. Now that's called reported information.
Right. Reported.
Now let's break it down in half. When you think of half, you think of 4.5 minutes and you think of 35 seconds. So when we get numbers like that and it's a crisis,
Yes.
but how many people are silent?
Exactly. And how many people are just because they're afraid,
Yes.
they don't know how to speak up. They can't speak up. They feel like the attack is there. And it's crazy. It's crazy because when we actually talk about being sexually assaulted, there's that subtle fear that settles over you immediately when you're first
Child.
breaking out and you're first
Oh
talking
my
about
goodness. Listen, Elle, every time I hit anything, rather it's the stages that's been open to me, I am a wreck. I'm like, okay, God, okay,
Yeah.
God. I'm nervous because for me, my story been held for 41 years. 41 years. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot when you think about it. Me being 47 now and 41 years of not
Right.
really saying how I felt about it. Like, now, don't get it twisted. My family did what they had to do, the family part of it. Not really so much the intervention, but they did the handling it with the police. You understand what I'm saying? They did the police part. But I was talking to my mom last night, and I was like, Mom, like, you never said I couldn't talk about it.
Right. Right.
And you never said I could
could.
talk about it.
Right.
So over the years of just holding on to that thing, you don't even realize how jacked up you are
Yeah.
until you get this breakout moment. You get this freedom to just say, this happened to me.
We like to first of all, my montage is intentional, being intentional.
Absolutely.
So we want to say that's being intentional about your freedom. Like, when am I supposed to talk and when am I not supposed to talk?
Right.
You know what I mean? Am I
Right.
saying the wrong thing? Am I not saying the wrong thing? And sometimes that intentional moment that you're having with yourself says, like, oh, I gotta get free. I gotta get this off of me.
Absolutely.
It's really mind-boggling that people still want you to hush even after your story leaks.
Oh, I think, it's crazy. Like, I be so in my own, I'm in my own lane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not in nobody else's lane. I'm in my own lane. So people, I'm noticing, this is just me. When people see me or if I'm going to speak somewhere, I've seen people repeatedly over and over. So they've heard the story.
Yeah.
So I feel that people probably saying, oh, here we go again, right?
Yeah.
That's just what I'm saying. I feel that people probably saying, oh, here we go again. And in the back of my mind, I'm saying, I ain't even started yet. Because to you tired of hearing it, but you didn't live that life. And if you didn't hold it for 40 years, 41 years, how can you say, and I'm not saying that nobody said this to me, sis. I'm not saying it. It's just a feeling that you get when you go to places or, you're speaking some places and people have heard our story. Now, remember, you might have been sharing your story way before I ever shared my story. People always knew the story of me getting pregnant at 11. They knew that I had a baby at 12.
Yeah, come on, talk about the
But
story.
they didn't know that prior to me getting pregnant at 11, I was sexually assaulted at 5.
Right.
They didn't know that. So everybody always focused on, oh, she was so young, she had a kid. And, they were saying all types of crap. You know what I mean? And I had to deal. So you deal.
Yeah.
But now having the freedom to talk about this thing,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you what they call the hook off the jab of it. I'm gonna give you the hook off the jab. I'm gonna try to keep it as clean as possible. You know what I mean? Because you don't understand
third
that
eye.
feeling. What?
With the third eye.
What? Wait a minute. What? The feeling that comes over you
Yeah.
when you sit back and you think about what you've been through. That thing deep. And unless it happened to you, you ain't never gonna understand it.
Right.
That's the other part.
That part.
If it didn't happen to you, you're not going to understand what lane I'm in.
Yeah.
So I might get on your nerves when you see me because I'm at somebody else's event. I might irritate you, but I'm just getting started. Like, this thing with Sacred Butterflies, let me tell you something. When God said yes, when he said go, when he said it's go time,
You better
it was
believe it.
all the way go for me.
Come on now.
It was all the way go for me. I'm sorry, I'm adjusting, you know what I mean? That way, we can't, I don't want to put it up here too bad but if y'all see me out here in the world of what we do in virtual
Yeah.
space, and y'all see me doing this. That's because I don't understand. This is a
feeling it.
relaxing
Feeling it.
moment. This right here is so dope, though.
It's a vibe over here
It
at
is.
Stage
It's
Left.
a vibe at Stage Left. Just so happened this morning when I was doing that bus life, I talk all the time. So I was like, yeah, because I'm about to Stage Left. And then I was like, and dun-dun-dun-dun, I'll be on Stage Left tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
That's love.
And that's how it all came together. But being able to share this space,
Yes.
this sacred space.
Absolutely.
It's a sacred space for us.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's a vibe, it's love, it's tears,
Yes. Yes.
tears of joy, but also tears of sadness for people that's not gonna say that the muzzle is still there.
Absolutely.
The muzzle is there.
Let's talk about that muzzle. Sometimes, like, you know, in certain atmospheres, I tread a different way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And sometimes let's take it to homegrown, to the church. Whereas in the church, sometimes it's not as always accepted to tell that portion of the story. Tell your story, but make sure that it's light enough, because we don't want to taint the image.
And Steve, what's so crazy is because I didn't grow up in the church.
Right.
See, for me,
Right.
it's different. For me, it's different. I didn't grow up in the church, I grew up in an Islamic home. And then my mom converted to Christianity. And then I went through this whole phase of there's a God somewhere, shout out to the Lord. But I went through that phase of there's a God somewhere. So when I actually, I tell people all the time, I gave my life to the Lord so many times that when it finally happened, it captured me. But now that I talk about this,
Yeah.
I do it unapologetic.
Right. Right.
When it comes to church folk,
Yeah. Yeah.
let's talk about it.
But shout out to my, you know what? I'm very grateful for my bishop.
That's excellent.
And
And shout out to, I'm gonna shout out my pastor too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
let me tell you something. I got a dope pastor. I got a dope pastor. He had me on family check-in, and I did it with 2 ministers. Shout out to Pastor Days. Shout out to Pastor Days and Second Baptist.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the Townsends
Yeah.
that did my interview. And when they told me, Pastor Days wanted you, I was like, okay. So what I did is, I'm not going to say I downplayed it. I chose different wording.
Right.
You know what I mean? To tell the story. Because the bottom line is this, is that it's been happening forever.
Forever.
Forever. So how do you tell a story without telling the story?
Right.
I didn't know how not to tell the story. The part of the story that I didn't get so graphic.
Right.
Like when I speak out here in the street,
Yeah.
I'm out here in these streets. Oh, baby, you're going to hear exactly what happened to me, but I even still choose different wording.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But
I think that's the maturity level in us. It's crazy because, like I said, shout out to my church, to my home base, New Shiloh Baptist Church.
Okay.
Bishop
Okay.
Washington, you all know.
Okay.
The first family.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Reverend Ruby, Dr. Nick,
Okay.
Pastor Aaron.
Why not? We got to shout out where we come from. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because the thing about it is, let me tell you something. It's so dope being in Christ. Like for me,
Yes.
it's so dope being in Christ and
Yes.
having your relationship with the Lord. But when God give you an assignment,
Yeah.
see, we ain't on a duty.
And he
We
put
got
people
it.
with you.
We got a
Come
duty
on.
to do. We got a duty to do. So we
Better
breaking,
get on your job.
Wait a minute. Listen, we breaking generational curses up
Come
in
on
here.
now.
We're
Come on.
preaching what says the Lord, but we coming from a real place.
Yes.
See, when you come from a real place, that's the only thing. You're being
Right.
authentically yourself.
Absolutely.
Like
It's necessary.
And like in my church, I don't get that because
Yeah.
it's just, let me tell you, I had to have this conversation with the Lord, right? This happened 6 years ago down in Suffolk, Virginia, when I gave my life to Christ. And I was having that but God moment. I was like, Lord, you sure? because I already knew I was a renegade. I already knew I was a renegade.
Renegades and rebels.
Yeah, renegades and rebels. I already knew I was that one that was going to be like, oh, I don't got time for this. Because what happened for me is that in my experience, seeing different things that was going on in churches, I wanted no parts.
Right.
I ain't want no parts with it because, see, you ain't going to sit up here and be fake and phony to me. And if you see me do something, put your nose up at me. So I really, really, truly had to have this conversation with the Lord, and I still do to this day. God, you sure?
Yeah.
And when I tell people before Christ or even after Christ who I am as a person, I tell people, I said, I put my character in with Saul. Not the persecution per se,
Yeah.
but on that, what's good? I come in at like, what's good? What's up? You know what I mean? And then quick tempered, Peter, quick with the mouth.
Yeah.
So I've asked God, you sure?
Yeah.
You sure? Because I'm so quick. And because I'm so quick, God pull me back when I need to get pulled back.
Yes.
So he said, go, because it wasn't, he let me see that it wasn't about the church. It was about my personal relationship with him. And once I've learned how to sit in that personal relationship with him, I understand that the church is where we praise and we worship. When we come together so we can edify God. But I have an assignment to do.
Yeah.
And I said, God always take the least, because I consider myself the least.
Right.
What?
But I'm gonna tell you something,
What?
right?
The least.
This is the crazy part.
The
because
least.
we
They
see the
sis.
doctored up stuff, but God brought all of them in, and He knew there was whoremongers and sinners. He knew there was alcoholics, and you know what I mean.
Yo, all the
Womanizers.
disciples,
Right.
all the disciples, like when we dropped down who the disciples
He
were.
knew they was sarcastic, and it never dawned on me, that it would be like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Wow, God knew exactly what I was going to be. 'Cause, I was sharp at the tongue. But the way that he brings us in,
Yes.
and he
Yes.
puts us into those places and positions because he
For a
knows,
time as such.
Yes, he
For a
knows
time as
we're
such.
needed.
See, I already see. Let me tell y'all something. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Make sure y'all click like and share.
Pop.
Let's do that. Click like
Do
and
it.
share. Let's do some pilot. You know what I mean? Make sure we click like and share.
Yes.
So we can get it popping and we can be authentically who we are.
Hey,
you know what I
see?
mean? But
This is why she's here.
Listen,
Top class radio.
Top class. Okay, I was like pilot. I didn't get all the words right, but shout out to Top Class Radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Thank you for having us here and let us
Absolutely.
bask in this essence of what we're doing, because this is some real love kind of conversation.
Absolutely.
This is the conversation that you want to have with your sister.
Yes.
You know what I mean? This
absolutely.
is the conversation that it's just, see, God knew what he was going to do with our life. Now, we had to go through hell. We had to bear a lot of pain.
Yeah.
I'm in a healing mode.
Yeah.
I'm healing from a lot.
Now, pause right there. When you say healing, tell the world how many levels of healing you actually been through in just the past few years.
Whoa. So, woo.
Come on now, 'cause-
She said we having a real conversation. So, woo, girl. Woo, woo.
Just
All right.
the past few years.
Past few years. Okay. Because this is my sister and we here and we going to be authentically who we are. We're going to be transparent. The past several years, my marriage was falling apart. My marriage was falling apart. I got saved. So I get saved. He's not saved. So the devil's on my neck because he's in the world. He in the room. Satan got him in the room. And when I say Satan got him in the room, he got him in that battling room. So as I'm prospering, getting to know who the Lord is, I'm dealing with Satan and his wrath every day. I'm going to work, coming home, looking at him fall by the wayside. The wayside. So in it all, I was holding on to dear life. You know, that scripture that says she touched the hem of his garment.
Yeah.
Baby, I didn't touch the hem. I was on the thread of the hem of the garment
on now.
because
Come on.
I was sinking in a miry clay. Emotionally, I was dying because I see my husband suffering. And ain't nothing I can do.
Yeah.
All I can do is praise God and say, Lord, get me through it. Get me through it. Get me through it. How am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? And even building sacred.
Yeah. You know, it's always double attack when there's a moment where God needs you to focus on something, and He got it right there. You just got to go do it.
Hey, sis,
Assignment.
when I say I think this is probably the most authentic that I can be.
Yeah.
Because if you wouldn't have never said anything, you know me, I'm a skeet around it.
Yeah.
I'm a skeet around some things. But because God given me the freedom to tell all stories.
Yes.
See, that's the thing about these stories that I'm telling y'all. When I was building sacred, my emotional state was a mess. But God, how about it? It was the but God. I wanted to leave. I'm not going to say I wanted to leave God. I didn't want to leave God. I didn't like what I was feeling. You know, here I was, this saved woman. I was, you know, I'm in ministry. You know, I'm a minister in training. But yet I'm going through the most. But in front of everybody's eyes, I'm smiling. I am happy in Christ.
Absolutely.
But I'm hurting like all get out. Only the people that was close to me really knew what I was going through. They knew that things were falling apart. But what I've learned is that as it was falling apart, I had to fall apart. I had to be stripped down so I can be built up. I had to be stripped down. So in the midst of my worst, now this is when I knew that God had a hand on me. Like, I'm building sacreds. I done started Sacred Butterflies. My husband's going through some things. I'm at home watching him. And I'm like, okay, God, this is too much. So I go to therapy, you know, and going to therapy, you know, shout out to everyone that's getting therapy. Go get you a therapist, baby, because that therapist can ready help you along with God. God in therapy help your life.
Listen.
Let God in therapy
about
help
it.
your life.
Let God in therapy.
God in therapy. So in the meantime, in between time, I had a prescription because I'm dealing with anxiety.
Yeah.
I'm sharing.
Yeah.
I'm doing homework. I'm in my office. And for that time period, the bottle of pills is right there. And I was like, I ain't gonna say I was like, I heard the voice say, take the bottle. All you want to do is go to sleep. Because at this point, I just want some sleep. Now, I ain't saying that I was attempting suicide. I wasn't. But at this moment, I got all these things going on.
Yeah.
And it seemed like I can't get it together. And this is a personal story. And in that moment, I look at the bottle of pills. I was like, just take the pills. Take the pills. Your kid's going to be all right. They know what to do. They going to be all right. You don't want, nobody don't need me in this earth. Now, this is the head. This is what's going on. In my head, I'm doing homework. And I hear that, sis. I'm sorry, y'all. I just trying to make sure I'm comfy.
Okay, it's okay.
And
No worries.
right in that moment, that's when I knew God was real.
Yeah.
Because what happened in that moment, the pills is right here, sis, like this bottle. Right here, I'm right here. I'm like, yo, I'm getting ready to dump them. Ain't nobody even going to know that I dumped them because all I want to do is go to sleep. And God said, take what you were supposed to take and you go cry out to me.
Wow.
So I took what I was prescribed.
Yes.
I went in my room. I cried. And I was just like, thank you, Lord. Hallelujah, Lord. Because I know that I would have went to hell for that. And because my faith is everything. Without my faith, I don't have nothing. That's when I knew that God's hand was on my life even heavier because, like I said, emotionally, I was going through the most because my husband was suffering.
Yeah.
I'm building up something by telling my story, but yet I'm broken. And in the midst of me building sacred, in the midst of it, here come the pills, here come the enemy.
Yeah.
He was public enemy number one. And I was like, nah. But that's when I knew that
Yeah.
God's hand was in everything that I was doing.
Yeah.
So I fought. And then sacred opened. You know what I mean? And as I began to build Sacred Butterflies, I got stronger and I got stronger and I got stronger. And then there was some decisions that I had to make to save myself.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's the part
Absolutely.
of being the transformation that, you know, nobody don't know, because
Yeah.
you behind doors with it.
Word.
See, some people know a little bit, but they don't know the detail of it. But this is when I brag about God.
I know that's right.
This is when I brag about God.
Come on.
You know what I mean? This is when I brag about God. And I say, listen, I just shared to the world a part of my life that nobody knew. Now, some people assume.
Right.
They just see this person. They see Tashira, because at that time I was Tashira Jones.
Mm-hmm.
At that time I was Tashira Jones. So they see Tashira Jones, but yet they see some things going on in the world that they're trying to figure it out, like what's going on between him and her. But the one thing I can say is that I was a praying wife.
Yes. Yes.
I knew that my prayers were being answered because my husband was still being able to do some of the things that he needed to do to get himself together. But in the meantime, in between time, with all this going on, I was emotionally breaking. So I knew God was in the midst of it. Like, you done had a commercial.
Yeah.
You're getting ready to have a grand opening.
Yes.
I'm
Wow.
going to need you to get it together. So in getting it together, I just cast it all over to him.
Now, let's take this back to the commercial, right?
Yes.
Because that commercial, it solidified it. It opened up several major doors. It opened up
Right.
some opportunities for us. But that commercial aired on major networks, right?
Yeah.
And you find yourself, people identifying like, wait, I saw you in the commercial.
Right.
Wow, that was powerful. When the commercial was done and our stories first broke with Avanzar, tell us what exactly that meant to you.
Someone called me and told me about it, but I wasn't catching it. When I finally seen it for myself, I had that moment like, girl, that's you. That's you on TV. You know what I mean? Like, is that really you? Especially in our local networks.
Yes.
You know, our local networks. It was in it and everybody was seeing it. So when I seen it, I was like, yo, I know her. Like, it was a I know her moment. Like, that's really you. So then I started seeing it more and more and more. The part of the commercial that meant the most to me is that my son was locked up. And he knew about us doing a commercial. He knew, he heard about it. Like, shout out to my son. He was on point as far as, you know, being that person. Like, he knew what was going on out here in the world. He seen the commercial in the county
Wow.
and he called me
Wow.
and he said, Mom, yo. He said, yo, Mom. I don't want to say exactly what he said because you know how, you know, he was
Yeah.
like,
That's the
but-
guy right there.
yeah, that's the guy part of it. But then he said, Mom, we made it.
Yes.
I said, huh? He said,
Long
Mom.
time coming.
He said, Mom, tell the story.
Hey.
When he said tell the story, it didn't matter that everybody else was calling me and they was texting me like, oh my God, I seen a commercial. It was when that child said, Mom, tell the story. That meant more to me than anything else.
Right.
Because he was able to see, like, I didn't even realize that my mom had been through
Wow.
as much as she had been through.
Now that's crazy, because this is something, even with my boys, my shout out to the queen. I love you, honey. I gotta make sure she's, you're there. We're here.
Absolutely.
I love you.
Absolutely. We in our bag. Shout out to the
When-
family.
When it's crazy, because when I first started opening up and telling them, I made sure my boys were aware,
Okay.
because we don't sugarcoat anything with them.
Right.
And so they were like, wait a minute, what? And so we began to start telling them some of the things we have been through and what it may look like if people say something like this here or
Right.
something like that there.
Right.
But they ultimately began to take the journey with us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I find it daunting, if I may say it that way, that sometimes we hold the innermost things away from our children because we don't want them to know the scars we bear.
Right.
But
Right. Right.
when they go through it, we find ourselves sitting at the table saying, pull up a chair,
Right.
and let me tell you about my journey.
And like with my kids, they knew parts. But I want to say that the part of my story, me being molested at 5, I can't remember if I told them that.
Okay.
Because with them, it was always been an age thing. Because me and Kaheem, shout out to Kaheem.
God. my God.
Me and Kaheem are 12 years apart. You know what I mean? So Kaheem 35, I'm 47.
And y'all rode this journey together.
We rode the journey. So I don't know if I told them about me being molested at 5. Because, like I said, the focus was so much around me having him at 12 that it kind of blocked out the 5-year-old experience. You know what I mean? So the 5-year-old little girl, she, shout out to the 5-year-old me, because she just got free.
Hey.
The 5-year-old me just got free. Because the 11-year-old, that 12-year-old girl, been free. My son was my freedom. My son was, I'm going to love you regardless of what they say.
Yeah.
My son was, man, look at here. It's us. But my 5-year-old self just got free a couple months ago. A couple months ago, if it wasn't a couple months ago, I'm going to say maybe a year ago, maybe just a year ago, when I started talking about what happened to me. And I said, I didn't realize how bonded up I was from her, from that 5-year-old not having a voice, that 5-year-old not being able to say, I don't remember nothing, or that 5-year-old just feeling empty.
Yeah.
Like, I wish that I could remember stuff that happened from the time I was 5 until I was like 8.5. I don't remember. And only thing I remember is about going to Philly. Every summer I was in Philly. So shout out to my Philly family, because
Philly
my
crew.
Philly family, let me tell you something. My auntie and them, I just was there.
Yeah.
But when it come to family here in Jersey, I ain't remember none of it. Like, I don't remember no birthdays. I don't remember nothing. I remember different little things, but my happy place has always been Philly. It's always been Philly. So, I just let her, that 5-year-old little girl, she just got her freedom, man.
Yeah.
Yo, it was like, let freedom
That's a
ring.
blessing.
It was like, let freedom ring. Like, she's done.
That's a
She's
blessing.
done. Like, if I was to see, when I seen the girl that molested me, like 15 years ago, I was driving a bus. She got on a bus, yo. I didn't know I was still affected.
Wow.
My hands started shaking. My mouth became dry. I felt impulsive.
Do you think she noticed you?
Nah,
She didn't know who
she
you
didn't
was.
know it was me.
Right, because you were in there.
Right, because I'm grown.
Wow.
So when I seen her, I wanted to, I wanted to do something. And a friend of mine was on a bus, and I think I shared it with him. And he started praying for me immediately.
Wow.
So the power of prayer is infinite. the power of prayer. And I wasn't saved. You know what I mean? I was out there in the world. I was out there in the world doing, being worldly. But he began to pray for me and it was like 15, 16 years ago. So if I was to see her today, I would tell her I forgive you.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that I'm learning about sexual assault is that most of the time the people that do it to you,
Yeah.
they had it done to them.
Right. It's happened to them.
So
Right.
how do we change the trajectory of it in moving forward now? And it's about speaking up, speaking out, and breaking the silence.
Wow.
It's about that. It's about that key term. Speak up, speak out, break the silence. Because at the end of the day, we want to get to the 5-year-old little girls right now and the little boys right now.
Right.
We need to be in the schools, but I'm trying to figure out, I'm asking God to show me a way to get in the community, but not giving them the story, but learning more about what we should be aware of.
Yeah.
It's awareness.
You
It's
in it,
about
you telling them now.
being aware of little things. It's the littlest things. If you notice different kind of attitudes in your
Yes.
children, pay close attention to it. Be mindful who your kids play with outside.
Body language.
See,
The
the
monsters too.
yeah, because it was a neighborhood friend for me. It was somebody that I trusted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And most of the time, in advocacy, and when you find out those statistics, majority of the time, it is known that the aggressor or the perp is someone
that you know.
you know.
And it was this, I know we here and we vibing out and everything that we doing. But when a 70-year-old woman told me her story while I was at Sacred,
Wow.
I knew that I was doing something.
Yeah. Yes.
She told me that it was her father.
Wow.
She said it was her father that treated her like she was her mother when her mother left to go to work. And we cried and we prayed. We cried and we prayed. So this is why I know that what I'm doing with Sacred Butterflies is like, it's beyond me.
Yeah.
It's beyond, it's bigger than me.
Absolutely.
It's bigger than us. We just have the courage to tell it now. You know what I mean? So we become the voice of the voiceless. We become their
Say that,
sisters.
sis. Say that.
We become their sisters. We become, if somebody come up to me and be like, yo, it just happened to me and I'm really ready to go tell my family, we become that. We gonna go with you. We go to support him or her.
Yes.
Because it ain't, understand that sexual assault ain't just about women, man.
No.
It's not about women, man. It's, the statistics are so crazy though, because only 10% of men share
Right.
what happened.
But it's equal numbers that's happening to men and women.
When I tell you some of the stories that I know from the men that shared with me,
Wow.
I'm gonna tell you this much. All I'm waiting for is somebody that's willing, a man that's willing to share his story
Yeah.
and rock with me with Sacred Butterflies, because now we doing the dual job.
Yes.
Because he can talk to the men without them feeling that they struggling with being what's the word, homophilia.
Right. Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
And
he can,
let me attest to that.
absolutely.
Just because you've been abused sexually, my brothers, my kings, that does not mean you are homosexual.
Right.
Because your prized possession is your manhood and your masculinity.
Absolutely.
And us women, we love it. We love you. We want you to have all that you are designed to be without having to feel like you're being attacked because
Yes.
you were sexually assaulted. There's a
Yes,
fine
yes.
line between that. And
Yes.
that has to be spoken about and spoken to in reference to our
Absolutely.
kings.
And that's what the thing is. So, if it's a man out there, I'm saying to you, if it's a man out there and you're willing to tell your story, I know that Sacred Butterflies is going to need you. I can't tell a man what to do and how to go about healing that part of him without you. I can
Right.
give some key parts. Right now, Sacred Butterflies is really for women. We're really for women, but I'm a rock with a man if he tell me it happened to him. If he say, yo, sis, what's going on? Can I come into your office? For y'all out there, I want you to know a little bit about Sacred Butterflies. We located in Egg Harbor Township.
Come on.
Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, right where ShopRite is at, 3003 English Creek Avenue, Suite D8, Our phone number is 609-992-3900. We are on social media. Everything's Sacred Butterflies. You see Sacred Butterflies, that's me. You know what I mean? But it's about reaching the community. It's about telling your truth. It's about being able to stand stronger now.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because there's too much brokenness. And as people, women of God, we got a dual job to do, because it's about us bringing people to the cross,
Yes.
right? To get to know who we praise.
Absolutely.
But it's about being in the field to do the work.
Got to do the work.
You got to do the work. Like,
Gotta
faith
do the
without
work.
works is dead.
Come on now.
Faith without works is
Them
dead.
folks trying not to get their nails
people be
dirty.
like, oh
Get in
my
there.
God, wait a minute. They're like, oh my God, I can't. Oh my God, I
Get
can't.
in
Well,
there and
whoa,
get dirty.
Guess
Let's
what? You don't
go.
got to worry about it. Because that's why I be saying, shout out to God.
Yes.
Like, he the greatest of all times. Shout out to God, he the greatest of all times. Like, this shirt I got on, it's not I ain't promoting nobody's stuff, but it's promoting me. And it says, watch me be great.
Come on now.
Watch me be great, but watch what God do with me. How about that? Watch what God do with us.
Yes.
He took the least.
Yeah.
And he said, let's get ready for war.
Come on now.
Because there's a spiritual warfare going out here.
Yes.
And with people that are victims of sexual assault, those numbers are so ridiculous. What y'all also need to know is that people that suffer with sexual assault have higher PTSD than somebody that was in the military
Absolutely.
that done went to war,
Absolutely.
because it's all in your mind. And to God be the glory, because I'm doing a couple things. You know what I mean? I got Sacred Butterflies going on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
And that's in
Yeah,
office,
I'm
right?
in office, but if I ain't there, you can always reach me, and we can connect on Zoom. I'm getting ready to start Sacred Butterflies Zoom.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And shout out to my butterfly in Canada.
Hey.
Shout out to my butterfly in the UK.
Come
I got
on.
2 butterflies that, listen, I said, God, open up the territory.
Yeah.
He done sent me to Canada, child. Tell me,
Come on,
won't he
come
do
on.
it?
Come on, he do it.
Won't he do it?
will.
So if nobody in the United States want to get no healing,
Yeah.
this is a worldly thing. This
It
is a global
It
thing.
is. It is very.
This is a
very-
global thing, and I don't take no credit for it. I give God all the glory and the honor and everything that's going on. You know what I mean? I just was the one, and you was the one, and Asilla was the one that said, in our community, Atlantic County, we decided to say, it's
Enough
enough.
is enough.
Enough is enough.
I'm over it. I'm done.
I'm
It's-
done with it. You know what I mean? And I mean, that's just I'm unapologetic about it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I walk into the boldness and the greatness that God would have for me to do. You know what I mean? I'm not explaining anything. I'm not going to explain anything to nobody. Listen to the story. If you don't like the story, stage left. How
Since-
about it?
since
Stage
somebody-
left. Literally.
Stage left. Send somebody that can benefit and reap
Absolutely.
from the healing space
the
and the
healing,
time
because
spent
it's
with
about
them,
healing.
yes.
You asked me earlier about my healing process and the healing processes that I've been going through for years. Do you know I just became free? I just got free. I was in my house yesterday doing a victory dance, like, yes, God, yes, God, yes, God, hey. You know what I mean? Like, yes, God, I ain't broken like that. Don't mean there's no brokenness.
That's
Let's be clear.
absolutely- That's
Let's be clear, because I ain't going to say, oh, I'm just this. No, it just means the healing has truly begun.
come on now.
And I'm healing from the 5-year-old that just let it go.
Yeah.
I'm healing from a broken heart. I'm healing who I need to be. Like, I'm emptying all the luggage right now.
Yes.
I tell people right now, my toiletries been put away. I'm still in the bag though. I gotta put the pants away.
Hey,
I gotta
come on.
I gotta do all that. So we definitely gonna have to come back here and do this again.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Shout out.
So y'all already know, right? Listen, we can go for hours and hours. But what I want to tell you all out there, thank you. Shout out to all the listeners, the audience, the radio
Absolutely.
station, Top Class Radio, Stage Left, IG, Facebook. Listen, YouTube. We live on YouTube too, by the way.
Oh, we live on YouTube? Oh, we live on YouTube?
Listen, so shout out to all the listeners. If you're here and you share, click, like, share.
Absolutely.
Pass the word, and pass the word, because we can't do this without you.
Nah.
But we are going to do it with
you or without you. Make no
And
doubt.
So
Now, I mean, like I said, shout out to everybody that's walking into their greatness.
Yes.
Shout out to the people that's out here minding their business and being great. Shout out to the people out here that think nobody ain't doing nothing, but behind scene, we doing the most.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Because sometimes you just got to move in silence. And I learned that too with this walk with Sacred Butterflies and everything I do. I've learned how to move in silence. Oh, I want to put, I want to promote me a little bit outside of Sacred
Come
Butterflies.
on, sis, go ahead. Go for it.
But what I want to share with people is that maybe by January, I'm going to say January 1, 2023, I am a spiritual mindset life coach. I'm already certified.
Let's go.
I'm already certified, so that means that my clients is getting ready to come. So I'm just like, I'm going to be taking men and women.
Listen, let's
men
go.
and women. And my name is Tia Moore Wellness. Tia Moore Wellness.
Tia Moore
Tia Moore
Wellness.
Wellness.
Tia
I got a
Moore
.com, y'all, but we
Wellness.
ain't ready yet. You
Hey.
got to snatch up the .com when you can get it for the low.
For the low.
For the low. When you get the .com for the low, you got to go ahead and get the .com. So, and moving forward, I will be offering spiritual mindset coaching. And reason why I say spiritual mindset coach, because spiritually, when you're broken
Yeah.
and you can't get that thing together, nothing in your life is going to go right. So this is my
Real
slogan.
talk.
This is my slogan. Here I go. When all three are aligned, life works out fine.
Hey, you heard it here.
When all three are aligned, life works out fine. So Tia Moore Wellness
Wow.
coming in 2023.
I'm excited.
I will be actually, I might come back here
Yeah.
and link up so I can promote.
We would love it.
I would definitely want to promote, and now, shout out to the plug.
Yes.
Shout out to the plug.
It's
This
the
is
plug in
what
the
it is.
building.
This is what it is. So, I mean, y'all just opened up something in the inside of me. Now, I got a lot going on. I'm in school. I'm a Rutgers student. 5 more years
Shout
and I
out to
retired.
that. Shout out to that.
5 more years I retired from New Jersey Transit.
You can go back to school when you're ready.
Yeah, you can go back and go get that edumacation. So what I'm saying
One
at
of
the
the
end,
favorite
yeah,
transit drivers
yeah,
that I
one of the people, I'm one of the bus drivers. But needless to say, God is setting me up. He's ordering my steps.
Absolutely.
Let me, we going to have fun because this is a vibe. But God has ordered the
Absolutely.
steps. He said, if I told you to go, you go ahead and go. So I'm being
yeah.
obedient. So now with me 5 years away from retiring, I graduate, God willing, with my BSW in 2024. God willing, I'll graduate with my MSW in 25. I retire 2028, but I've already made a decision that I'm going for my PhD, and where I want to be at is with sexual assault. I have to deal with the traumas and the triggers
Yes.
of sexual assault. I
Wow.
found my lane. And shout out to God for elevating me in ministry, showing me his word, showing it me for myself. Like, I'm not being misguided. Sometimes I think that people get the wrong guidance.
Yes,
But when you
yes.
seek the kingdom of God for yourself,
Absolutely.
yo, he will open, the
Absolutely.
Bible to me is like the best book of all times, man. Let me tell you something. I be in it. I be like, yo, they didn't do that. Yo.
I
ooh.
just didn't read that.
No, like they ain't do that.
They playing cops and robbers over there? No,
But-
there can be some real situations, and you be like,
but
wow.
they say it like the Bible says. There's nothing new under the sun.
Nah, nothing new.
Same script, different cast. What went on then is going on now.
Absolutely.
So we got revelation knowledge right here in our face. Listen, that no matter what nobody say, for me, the Bible is the greatest book of all time. Shout out to God.
Yeah.
Yo, won't he do it? He gonna keep on doing it. He
Come
gonna
on
keep
now.
on elevating
Won't
us,
he
man.
will.
Won't he? Will he? Let's do it. Shout out to, like I said, shout out to everybody being great.
Yeah.
Being great. Shout out to healing. Understand this, people. Healing is powerful.
Yes, it is.
When I say I'm taking the time to heal,
You have to allow that healing
allow it.
and allow the space and the time for that healing.
Yes.
That is the most important aspect. Because like sometimes I think we rush our healing.
Yeah.
We don't allow it to naturally occur when it needs to. We want to shelter it. We want to, shelter in place on the healing.
Right.
But we also want to cut it off because we don't want other people to know. Nah, I don't care if I'm breaking out tears in broad daylight in
Yeah.
front of a crowd of 1 million people. It has to come out.
Yeah. And like for me, I'm learning how to, like I say, bask.
Yeah,
Know how to
it's
bask
a basket.
in that healing process.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it just shout out to, like I said, I can't just, I always got to give God the glory. Like, you don't understand, man. You don't understand, man. I mean, I ain't nothing without God.
Come on.
I ain't nothing without God, man. I don't care what nobody say. Look at here. Y'all out here trying to figure it out. You better go find God. You better go find God.
That's what
you know
it
what I mean? I'm
is.
like, oh, I'm trying to be with my mans in them. Yo, he is your mans in them. He your
it.
mans in them, like he gonna be there no matter what. He gonna be there when you in the trenches, man. When you hear that inner voice tapping your shoulder,
Yeah.
that's God. It ain't your boys. It ain't your mama and your daddy. Ain't
Try
nothing
Jesus.
but God. What?
That's
What they
him.
say? Try Jesus. Don't try
Don't
me though.
try
Don't
me.
try me. Don't try me, baby. You better try Jesus. I tell you, you got to get. I'm in it for my salvation, Lord. I'm in it for mine, but I'm
that's
still a
it.
work in process. A
Absolutely.
work in progress, not process, work in progress. You know what I mean? And that's all we can do. All we can do is become.
That's it.
All we can do is become and want to be on the right hand side of God. That to me is deep. Like
That's
I just
chunky.
I wanna be on the right hand side of God. If what I'm doing ain't gonna please God, that's where I'm at in my life. Yo, I don't even want no
I don't
parts.
want it.
I don't even want it. I already got asked God to forgive me for the stuff that I know that I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
But if you
Keep
about
it.
some mess, you keep your mess and your message to yourself.
Real talk.
Real talk. But this is dope though. This is dope. This is so dope. I ain't never did nothing like this before in my life.
Listen, you already know the fun we having right here, right
I
now.
never did this.
Top
child.
class radio stage left. L Vintage. It's your big sis. And my big sis, Miss
Yes.
Tashira D. Amore.
Yes.
Tia Moore for you.
Tia
Tia Moore
Moore.
Wellness is coming to you.
Yes.
Listen, I'm grateful for all of y'all.
Yes.
We at that hour, we at that time frame, and you know what we do. We want to give Miss Tia Moore an opportunity to tell you 2 lines. Tell them what healing is and how powerful it is for them and how they can go acquire it.
Healing is getting naked with yourself.
Ooh.
Get naked with yourself. Get naked. Take it all off. Go in front of a mirror. Whatever it is you don't like and you want to change it, talk that to yourself. See, this healing thing, baby,
It's personal.
it's personal. Don't let nobody rush your healing because your healing is for you. And once you become healed, it's for you to help heal others. Let's heal others, man.
Let's heal
Let's
others.
heal others, man.
Yeah,
Let's be on
heal
a healing
others.
journey, man. And especially if you got people in your life and y'all healing together, you know how blissful that is.
That's a whole nother. That's
Yeah, listen.
That's a whole
we
nother
going stage left,
conversation.
man. We going stage left. Like,
because that's a parlay right there.
oh yeah, that's the whole. But I'm coming back. I'm letting you know right now. I'm coming back. I just put myself in the
Rotation.
in the rotation.
She
I
put her
don't put
back in.
myself in the rotation. I'm just letting y'all know right now. I see some things, and now it's time to get it. It's time to elevate Sacred
Right.
Butterflies. We're having these conversations and having this spot
Yeah.
to even put people like, listen, come and vibe with me. And another thing I want to share is that my son finally said, "Mom, I want to tell what it did to me."
Wow.
So Sacred Butterflies presents.
Wow.
Hopefully December. If not, we push in January.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I want to be there for that.
Oh yeah,
I'll be there to
definitely,
support.
definitely. We're gonna have limited tickets though, yo. I ain't like flies. My spot only holding 25 people, but if y'all want it,
It's exclusive.
it's gonna be exclusive. I don't know. We can ready to set everything up because God just gave me the whole vision while I was sitting right here.
Right.
He put you in a place for a reason. He
Real
put you with
talk.
people for a reason. When you see some things that can get done, let's get it.
I know that's right.
Like I keep saying, shout out to God.
Hey, shout out to the G.O.D. himself.
The GOAT.
We here with it. We live. Listen, I'm not gonna hold y'all much longer. I love y'all. You already know. Go download Top Class Radio on Android, iOS, Spotify, Google. You know what it is. Go do it. stop the press, stop holding back, because you know what we do is we like to be nosy. So let's go be nosy for a good cause. Go download the app and come on over here and see what we really doing.
Absolutely.
Because we won't stop, can't stop. There's a journey, there's a purpose, there's a plan. And every time God writes out the plan, all we got to do is execute that plan. So for that, I love y'all. This your
Love
big
you.
sis. It's L Vintage. Tia Moore. Listen, stage left. Top Class Radio. We signing out. Deuces.